Cool. Welcome to tonight's team call, guys. I'm really excited. Tonight's Wednesday, June 3rd, and we're doing kind of a combination call with Dream Corp and Reach Nation. And I know that Colleen and I have been talking about this for a few weeks, and we're really excited to get you guys on here. This call is really focused on the best advice that Colleen and I can give you based on looking back at our 2 years plus coaching. I think Colleen's coming up on her 2 year next month. This is for all coaching levels, whether you're a new coach, a Star Diamond coach, or an Emerald coach, whatever it is. And I personally wanted to take some of my, at least in the topics that I'm talking about, take some of my biggest failures and kind of help you guys see where Colleen and myself may have gone wrong and areas that we've gone right throughout the last couple of years in regards to leadership and ownership in this business. And just to kind of show you what you can do sooner in your business to apply and see results. So this call's about leadership, but first, Dream Corp coaches, I know I've trained a lot of you guys throughout the last year, but Colleen and I wanted to just introduce ourselves briefly. I know we got a lot of new people on this call, and we'll go ahead and just tell our stories real quick. And so just to tell you a little bit about me, my name is Brad, if you guys don't know me. I kind of grew up with a limited childhood. It wasn't bad, it wasn't abusive, but it was limited, conditional, and it was, I would say the word lacking. And that's not necessarily, it wasn't a horrible childhood, but my life was a constant reminder of just constraint of the working world. And I had these conditioned thoughts of mediocrity, and money was always tight. It was paycheck to paycheck. And I grew up believing that it was just the way it is, and it would be that way for the rest of my life. Vacations were limited, if there were any, and I had a lot of debt out of college. And I was conditioned during my life that I was limited in what I could achieve. And I truly believed that to be true when I left school. And I saw my dad working so many long hours, and it almost felt like life didn't have a way of letting you get ahead. Money was always tight, and that's the way it would be for me. There was no freedom of choice. And so I came out of college determined to change that, my goal out of college was just make money, because that would solve my lack of fulfillment, right? And I came out of school, I made a great salary for a 22-year-old kid. I was making $60,000 a year at 22 years old, and money would solve all my problems, right? And to be honest with you, I was miserable. I was really miserable, and I was in a role working so many hours. I had a long-distance serious girlfriend, a whole lot of debt, there was a whole lot of pain, there was a whole lot of confusion, and a lack of fulfillment. And I wasn't making an impact. So I don't know if you guys are like me, where you know that you were meant to do something significant. You were meant to lead a life of significance in some way and change something in the world. And well, that's what I believed. And I thought I had this gut feeling I was meant for more, even though I was conditioned my entire life to believe that I wasn't. That's a feeling I had, but I had zero direction on how to do it. And so fast forward to Beachbody coaching, getting introduced to me, and after taking Shakeology for a month and seeing what it did to my life, I actually said no to coaching. I said no because it was an atypical business. I said no because my family and friends told me it was a bad idea. I said no because I didn't know how I was going to coach people. I said no because I was scared, and it was one of those pyramid schemes, right? And I didn't know if it would work. But finally one day, I had the courage to dive in because I wanted my life to change more than I wanted it to stay the same. So I dove in, and I dove in looking for a business, and I found a community. I found a community where it's actually okay to dream, and there isn't a limit on what your reality can be. And it's the first time in my life where I realized that I could create something. And I found unconditional belief from every single person that I met through this coaching opportunity. And to be real with you, it was the first time where my coach, Jessie, told me, I believe in you. And there wasn't a but at the end of that. She meant it with everything she was. She didn't just say it to make me feel better about the future that I couldn't have. She really believes in me. And it was the first time that it was unconditional in my life. But anyways, I had a limited childhood. I realized that, but this was an opportunity where I could give my kids more. And so I created something. I left that job. I made amazing friends, and I inspire people. And I started a movement along with Colleen and other people. I created change in my world. And now literally, I think thousands of others. And there's nothing else in my life that has truly benefited me in this way, whether that's physically, financially, emotionally, mentally. I've never found something that benefits you like that all at the same time. So that's kind of where I am now, and that's kind of a little bit about me. But I want to just introduce Colleen for the Reach Nation coaches on here that don't know who Colleen is. Colleen's going to share a little bit about her story before we dive into the content tonight. So go ahead, Colleen.
Cool. I'm going to share a little bit about my story, and then Brad and I are going to kind of rewind if you guys have any team shout outs, because we kind of have a big week at Dream Corp this week, so I don't want to leave anyone out for rank advancements and shout outs. But first things first, I'll share a little bit about myself. And of course, if you're on my team, you know a lot of my story, but the thing about being almost at my 2-year mark is you start to realize more about your story that you never really noticed before. So I'm really excited to share with you guys the things that I've learned. Brad and I are going to give you guys our best advice today. But for me, I actually said this to someone in an airport yesterday, and he was so taken back by it. And so in my head, the way that things were was you get good grades in school, you make your parents proud, you play sports, then you go to college, and then you have a crazy college career of dating a crazy boyfriend, and then you marry that boyfriend, and then you buy a house. And I mean, I just literally had this cookie cutter life ahead of me, or so I thought. And it involved becoming overweight, out of shape, wrinkly, old, miserable. And I mean, it's weird because my parents really aren't like that, but that was just kind of what popped into my head about getting older. And so as the years went on, I became grouchier and unhappier and resentful. And so that was, kind of the really old Colleen. When I started to work for Verizon Wireless, I saw hope. I was like, oh, I'm good at something. I'm going to make a lot of money, and I'm on that corporate world journey. And that's kind of what I thought I was going to do. My parents were proud of me, but I kind of just went day to day doing my job. And I would spend every single day off I had partying and drinking. And if I had a week's vacation, it would involve partying and drinking. Now, I still like to have a good time, but it's not every single day off I have. Now, every single day off I have is usually spent dedicated to my team or my family or doing something that is about paying it forward. I'm obsessed with the idea of paying it forward. But rewind a little bit. When Verizon started to literally eat up my life, I started to get nervous because I was going down a path that I never thought I would. I was the person who went to college and got that job and was making good money. I was not going to be that person ever that would do stupid things and have a bad name for herself. And I was that person. So life really gave me a reality check, and I knew from literally, physically, from the inside out, I had to make a change. And just like most of you here today, the person that you signed up with, they inspired you in some way. And I was greatly inspired by my upline, honestly, because of 2 reasons. A, she was glowing. That little happy glow we all love and that we see nowadays in the Beachbody world. But more importantly, she was able to spend time on her schedule with her husband. He was able to go on these trips and spend time, and they both had that happy glow together. And Sean and I at the time did not have that. And so that is where I came into realizing, like, okay, you went down the path you didn't want to, and now you have the ability to completely change that through a job you're actually going to like, and that's going to be around forever. Because I know when we all sign up, we ask ourselves that question, is this something that's going to last forever? And we all know that health and fitness, especially with Beachbody, is not going anywhere. So that's kind of where I came from. And now at my 2-year mark, literally the pinch me, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. And I don't need to bore you with any more of that, but getting married, earning 6 figures this year, we have a team of over 700 coaches, and life is good. And so we are here today to teach you guys how to pay that forward. And I'm literally going to take like 30 seconds, Brad, and just do my shout outs real quick. It's not going to be long at all. Miss Katie Arnone is going to be an official 4-star diamond tomorrow. She's been a coach just for a little bit over a year. She's my best friend. She is now coaching Beachbody full time. She has left her corporate job, and I'm very proud of her. And then I have Jen Miller, who is going to be a diamond coach tomorrow. Jen Miller was a customer lead, a free lead. I don't want to do the meal plans. I don't want to do this. And now she's rocking it. She works full time. She's going to be our brand new shiny diamond coach tomorrow. So congratulations. And if anyone else on Dream Court has any shout outs, take a few seconds and unmute yourself and go ahead. I know Katie has some.
I do.
Oh, go ahead.
I just wanted to recognize Ashley Aguirre, Lisa Tolis, Brittany Morgan, and Kalani McNeely. They're halfway to Emerald. Woo!
Yeah. Awesome. I'll go
I
ahead.
have one real quick. I'm sorry, Katie, you go. I want to do a shout out for one of Courtney's coaches, Megan Cronin. I believe she's on the call. She's hitting Emerald tomorrow. She hit her first month of Success Starters last month and hit Success Club 12. So awesome job, Megan. That's amazing. And then I also just want to shout out Robin because she's officially a Success Club All-Star. So she hit Success Club in her last 12 months as a coach, and I'm so proud of her. She's well on her way, continuing that to become a legend. So very proud. That's it.
I have a couple maybe. Miss Tina Becker, who just signed up, I believe you just signed up Monday or yesterday, and you're already halfway to Emerald. That's awesome. And then Kristen, who could not be in the phone call tonight, who just signed up, and this is a no-brainer for her. So she's joining up to be a business coach, and she's been doing it for a couple of days now. So way to go.
All right. Was there anyone else? That was amazing. Congratulations, everyone. I know Brad probably has a couple.
Yeah, I have a couple. Sorry, guys, I actually didn't prepare for recognition at all tonight. Normally I do, but I do want to give a big shout out to Allie Stover and Sam Adams. Both of them are literally within, or actually three people, Allie Stover, Sam Adams, and Aaron Logan within one or two coaches from Diamond Rank, so they'll pull it off within the next week, which is going to be awesome. And actually, big shout out to Erin Logan, who locked in Success Club from Ireland. She's in Ireland at the end of the month, and one of her orders was returned, and she was literally overseas and did what it took to lock in Success Club. And then a big shout out to Alicia. Alicia's down there at the bottom of the screen. It's news. I keep on Now's news. I keep on messing up her new last name because she just got married a little bit ago. But she actually had the courage to sign up her spouse, and I know how scary that is when you're starting at Nouse like a mouse. Got it. Okay, cool. But I know how scary that is starting out when you're not earning a ton of money with Beachbody yet. It almost seems like a big investment to add on to what you're doing to sign up your spouse, but it is super important. So big props to you for doing that. And if anyone else in Reach Nation has any shout outs right now, I didn't prepare like I normally did for this, but what did Colleen say? Yeah, I 100% agree. But does anyone else have any shout outs from Reach Nation that they want to give props to? I know Laura couldn't be here tonight, but she wanted to give Cassie a big shout out for selling her first challenge back, which is awesome. Anybody else? Anyone? Before we get started? Okay.
I don't have a rank advancement, but I just have a quick shout out. I have a coach who just signed up today, and she's already on the first call. So I just want to welcome her, Kara, to the group, and proud of her for getting on the first call.
That's awesome. Cool. All right, Colleen, so should we get started with the content for this evening? Do you have anything else you want to add, recognition or anything before we get going? I know real quick, Reach Nation and Dream Corp, both of you guys you guys both have the ability to register for that diamond training that's coming up with Keith Callahan and all those elite coaches. You have until Monday to become Emerald. Get on that, guys. That is going to be a world-class training. It's going to be amazing, and it'll help you push your business forward. So if you haven't applied to that yet, I'm assuming you guys have it up in Dream Corp. We have it up in Reach Nation. Apply to that. It's going to be awesome. Colleen, anything you want to add before we get rocking and rolling?
No, I just noticed that Christine and Jennifer also hit Emerald. This is when it starts to get so hard to look in your downline where we do team calls on Wednesdays. I have to guess the rank advancement. So don't think I don't love you guys and try not to miss it, but congratulations. That's awesome.
Cool. Awesome, guys. Great job. Dream Corp, great job. Reach Nation. You guys are amazing. And so let's start out with the content tonight. Tonight, we're really going to talk about leadership and leadership of your own life, leadership of a team, leadership of just yourself in general. And I want to start out by sharing what Colleen taught me. And that is the fact that you do not need permission to lead. And this point weighs so much on my heart because it's one of my biggest mistakes I made as a coach. You don't need permission to set your own standard. And you have the ability to grow and change and inspire and move and create freedom and help other people and make a huge impact on this world. And that includes the life of your own family, but you don't have to be qualified to start that. You don't need to be a certain rank. It has nothing to do with the amount of time that you've been involved in your team. It has nothing to do with your history as a coach. It doesn't have to do with your rank, whether you're a brand new coach or, on this call that this is your first team call, or you're a multi-star diamond rank like Katie, 4-star tomorrow. That's amazing. You don't have to be at a certain rank to lead. You don't need permission. And it's so easy to hesitate. And, when you're trying to make an impact, because it feels like you have to be almost ordained or promoted to do it. But leadership isn't something that you're promoted or permitted to do. It's your choice. And you can start it out at any point in your coaching journey. And so whenever you have a good idea, it's natural to feel like it needs to be approved, right? In the book Tribes, that's a book I'm going through right now, Tribes by Seth Godin, he talks about how and this is, let me pull up the quote here. A lot of us would like to believe that there is a Bureau of Idea Approval, or the BIA. The BIA sits in judgment of ideas and gives its blessings to the best ones. Go ahead and hone your remarkable concept, submit it to the BIA, and let them do the rest. I thought that was really interesting because it's almost like we need approval for our ideas as coaches. And that's not going to happen. There's never going to be a shortage of ideas as a coach, whether you're brand new or a 10-star diamond coach, but the will and the courage to make those ideas come to life and leading your own business is oftentimes what's missing. Constant improvement is going to be absolutely required, and development of yourself mentally and emotionally, of your attitude, that's going to be essential or it won't work, but you do not need someone's permission and authority to take charge. Leading is possible for everyone, including brand new coaches on this call. If you think about it, in this world, we've been kind of trained to avoid it like the plague our entire lives, just like I did. All I can say is become the change that you believe in. That's literally all leadership is. Create some sort of change that you believe in. And think about, why do people choose not to lead? It's because leadership is change, and change means risk. And risk has shown us for years that it's a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. As coaches, your business isn't going to go anywhere if you're going to do what most people approve of. Most people aren't willing to lead or make change, and that's why nothing a leader does is necessarily approved of by society right away. In fact, most of the time people shoot it down. And I know some people have not had a negative experience with their Facebook. I have. I had a negative experience with sharing on social media where people have given me a hard time. And I was thinking about it. Just wait 1 year. That goes away and people start to join you because you start to learn the skills on how to share it better. And when you're sharing your vision and your mission, it becomes powerful and people want to join up on that. I talked about this on my team page the other day in Reach Nation. And I kind of talked about the status quo and how a lot of times people are afraid to take their own life and run with it. And they want to remain the same because it's more comfortable. If you want this to work, create change and be okay causing commotion and almost a ruckus in the world, because most people won't join you, and that's okay. You just need to find the people that believe in what you're sharing and what your story is and your goals. When you share that regularly, you'll find people that join you. So use your story to create a movement and find people that do want change. Find the people that decide that maybe working on things they truly believe in their life is so much better and more satisfying than getting a paycheck and waiting to retire. Do something that's going to blow people's minds and be the change agent in your community so you can start leading your teams. You don't need other people's permission. You just need to have deep passion to create change in your life, in the lives of others. So I used to give you an example, one failure with me, I used to need permission. I used to ask for it. And so I would reach out to Colleen about literally everything I did, and Colleen's going to laugh about this because this was my aha moment, Colleen. And I would have these random aha moments, right? And I learned this new thing from this book or this new training or whatever it was. I had these aha moments. And finally one day, Colleen had the courage to be very real with me. And she gave me the biggest actual aha moment of my entire business. And that was, stop having so many damn aha moments and start doing something with them. Stop apologizing for your beliefs and accept the fact that some people just won't join you. Everything else I was claiming to be an aha moment, it was literally just a learned skill that I learned through personal growth. But my real aha moment came from that talk. And so I have this deep need, and this might be real for some of the coaches on this call. I have this deep need to be liked by everyone. And I used to have to qualify my leadership. And this is something that I hope new coaches take away right away. I would say things like, I mean this out of love, or I would spoon feed coaches, things that might help their business. And I would say things that might sound a bit harsh. And what happened was I kind of lost that rapport and respect. And I truly believe that it came out of a fear of being criticized. That's really what I know in Dream Corp. You guys have this, the slogan, everything you want is on the other side of fear. And so I grew up always wanting to fit in, and having this need for acceptance. I didn't understand that criticism was an acceptable part of leadership. And I thought to be a good leader, everyone needed to agree with me. That's not true. Your job is to keep on finding people that do believe in your mission and your vision. I posted about this on our team page, but the other day. So Reach Nation coaches, you've seen this, but Dream Corp coaches, I hope you'll appreciate this. As a coach, you're going to rise to a level that you all of a sudden get paralyzed by fear. And it's so easy to say, I'm afraid to fail, but think about what you're really afraid of, and this might be the case with some coaches. It might not be the case. This is one of my biggest learning points. Colleen always talks about how everything you want is on the other side of fear, right? I believe that one of the biggest fears is criticism. I was so afraid to tell people that I fell out of 3-star back to diamond rank. And I sat there for 6 months, and 7, 8 months, whatever it was, because I was afraid of being criticized or made fun of. At the beginning of my coaching journey, I was afraid to share how I actually felt on my team because I wanted them to like me. And I was scared to post vulnerable things on Facebook because I was afraid of being criticized by my close friends and family that might disagree with what I had to say. And so it's easy to not do anything about that same fear of criticism. And think about it. We're thinking, what are people going to say? What are they going to think? Will this annoy my family? Will my social perception be dropped down? Will I be unfollowed? And those are all questions that I've felt. Is that kind of things that maybe you guys have felt? You felt like social perception or kind of a little bit of a fear with what people are going to think? Think about this though. How can you lead a movement to help people change their life and build something amazing for your family and for your life if you don't get noticed by people? The side effect of getting noticed is criticism. So when people criticize whether my message or a Facebook or my mission, whatever it is, they might say this won't work or you're annoying or whatever it is. There's a chance that it might kill my day. And sure, it might bug me, but it's not going to kill my day, because when that happens, think about it. When people are making points about that, that means you're getting noticed. It means you're doing something that people are making an opinion about, which means your movement has started. That's a good thing. That's not a bad thing. So if you don't do anything with this business, you don't write a post, you choose to remain the same, you choose to hide, there won't be people talking about it. And that means people won't join you. And that's okay if you don't want to. But if you do want to build this, you're going to need to be talked about. Challenging the norm requires a serious commitment. It involves putting yourself on the line based on a leap of faith that you haven't yet seen and believing so deeply in what you do. And it takes a lot of courage. And it's so uncomfortable to stand up in front of strangers. It's even more uncomfortable to stand up in front of friends and that are already concerned about us. It's uncomfortable to share this belief when criticism is out there. And during those times, you need to accept and rely on each other, rely on the team, because other people won't understand. Rely on each other as teammates instead of locking it into yourself. Criticism can ruin your day. It can make you question your intentions, but it also means that you're getting noticed. Your business is getting noticed. So don't let it slow you down. Let it speed you up, because the second you decide to worry is the second that we take our focus completely off of helping people and completely back onto ourselves. So that can sink down into our teams. When you're starting out and you only have a small amount of business builders on your team, or maybe you don't have any, and you're starting to recruit them, you want them to succeed so badly, right? You want them to be really successful. And you know the recommended road to success because you want them to succeed so bad. You want to ensure that they do it, and you want them to become part of every opportunity. And so what happens is you start to manage them. You start to manage them and not become a leader. You start focusing more on teammates getting tasks done and making sure each of them hit Success Club and making sure they attend the team call because you know what will help them. But when you do that, you might take the focus away from leadership. You might take the focus away from inspiring, and you might take that focus away from support and belief. And I'm not going to tell you I'm an angel at this. And frankly, I believe it's the reason why my team isn't growing nearly as fast as Dream Corp's team. It's because I struggle with management. And in my mind, if you want X to happen in your life, here are steps A, B, and C to get there. Oh, you didn't do B? Well, do B and you'll get results. It's cut and dry in my mind, but that's not how leadership works. Leadership is probably the biggest struggle in my life and my business, but it's also been what I've grown the most in. And so we live in a world and Colleen, I'm almost finished here, so we'll turn it over to you in a minute. I know we're running low on time, but we live in a world where we have the leverage to make something happen. We have the desire to do work and believe in what we do. And we have a medium through social media and other things to make it happen for just about everyone. And that's what this opportunity provides. And yet I got stuck. There were these rules on building this business that had to be followed, right? I grew up having a boss, being afraid of what he or she would say. And I got stuck acting like a manager of employees instead of a leader. And I did it for a very long time. And so new coaches, relate this to your team. Are you managing or are you leading? I've been trained, just like most of you guys, to avoid leadership. You feel like you have to be qualified, like I talked about at the beginning. But the best part about this is that you don't need to wait until you're a 2-star diamond coach to lead. You don't need to wait until you have 500 people on your team. You don't need to wait until you're an emerald. You can start right now. Management is defined as manipulating resources to get a job done. And that's what I tried to do. I tried to take my teammates and make them hit Success Club. And they all invite to the business opportunity, and they all need to hit Success Club because that's what builds this, right? I know that that's what gets the job done. And with coaching, we run a volunteer army. No one has to be here, and they can walk away anytime they want. So what I was doing through managing people was I was chasing people away using my position of starting this team to show them what was required to get the job done. I wasn't holding them accountable based on their why and their goals. I was forcing them to take action without any desire behind it. Leadership isn't about that. Leadership is about creating change that you believe in and inspiring to follow and lead with you. Leaders have followers and people that lead with them. Managers have employees. Managers make a product. Leaders create change. So the last thing that I'm going to talk about before Colleen takes over is that managers use their authority as like they're the boss. Their boss gives them this authority. And you listen to your manager or you lose your job, right? A manager can't create change because that's not in their job title. His job is to make sure that shit gets done. Leaders, on the other hand, shouldn't care nearly as much about that. Leaders use passion and excitement and vision to lead people and inspire change. Engage people in your vision. That's your team and that's your audience. Define your vision and live it. And when you do that, it means that you can start leading right now as a brand new coach, because your vision, not my vision, not Colleen's vision, your vision is what inspires your clients and your coaches to join you. It means that your leadership now becomes the example that you can choose to live by. It needs to come from sharing what you believe in unapologetically and being okay with sharing those things. It needs to come from sharing your vision, your goals, your inspirations, and do it over and over and over and over again. And that's why I'm not going to go into detail on concept recruitment because of time, but that's why you need to be constantly recruiting people over and over and over again until you find people that truly do buy into the vision that you have. So I hope that makes sense, guys. And I hope you guys can learn through some of my failures on how I acted with my team on kind of forcing people into Success Club, et cetera, instead of leading them through inspiration by examples. So Colleen, I'll turn it over to you to finish up the call.
Cool. Thanks, Brad. And it's really bold of Brad to share failures. I'm going to share some too. I know that for all of us, even thinking about failure, that's scary. So I'm proud of you, Brad. I'm glad that we had that chat. Okay, so as Brad was just talking, more things are popping in my mind, but I got to stick to my notes. So I want to talk to you guys about what the long-term desire and end result of this business is. Like, we're not talking about where you're going to hit Success Club this month. Like, we always think 2 years in advance as leaders, because that's all we're going to talk about. Whether you're a brand new coach on your first call, I want you to start thinking, where am I going to be a year from now? Where am I going to be 2 years from now? You can think about 6 months too, but let's really push that out, because I feel like if I never did that and never thought about my dream team Beachbody business, I would I don't know where I'd be, to be honest. That was something that helped me so much, and I want you to do the same. And so something that helps, or that will help you understand what that kind of looks like, is the dream team of Beachbody Business is a team of independent coaches, where the coaches know where to get the information. They just do, they don't ask. And yeah, we ask questions. I'm not saying don't ask questions. That's not what I'm saying. But you take that leader role and you say, okay, I have a problem. And as a leader, I'm going to go find a solution. And the thing about this business, and these are all my pieces of advice from my experience, is I had to expect uncertainty. There were days, I mean, this was, I'm thinking back to where the majority of the coaches on my team are now. When I was in your shoes, I was in this office with no big team calls like this telling me what to do. So I had to shove my nose in books that would help me become a stronger person so that I would have an idea of what to do. Now, does a book tell you how to do Beachbody? Absolutely not. But it helped me grow as a person. Whoa, turn it off, sorry. So expect uncertainty in the days of, I don't know what I'm doing, because it's going to happen. It still happens to Brad and I. You have to be okay with it because we all still do it. So we're just going to be cool with that. This is a journey every single day. Look at Brad and I just had that conversation not that long ago, and he's been doing this for 2 years. I'm going to have a moment like that. He's going to have another one next year and next month. And, I have had a million of those. The hardest one for me was when I was crushing my first 6 months, and then people stopped coming to me, and I missed Success Club 10. And I was like, what happened? And then that's when you have to take self-reflection and say, where did I go wrong? And just be okay with it, because you're kind of teaching yourself and you're learning from your mistakes. Just be okay with that. As you grow, keep in mind that you want to be doing business building activities. I say that to my team all the time. They're like, what does that mean? The best advice I could give you if you're sitting there in that uncertainty moment is get involved. If you're just a fly in the wall on your team page and you're a fly in the wall waiting for a training, you're not leading. Brad and I looked up to, and this is kind of a combo point that I have in my notes here. You're going to seek out coaches that are like you, that are top producers in this company, that stand out on the leaderboards, and they're going to silently mentor you. They're going to push you in ways that someone could, as if you were to talk to them every single day, because you're going to watch them and you're going to be like, oh, I love what they do. Like, we all have those people, right? And so it doesn't need to be top coach Melanie Mitchell, Lindsay Matway. These can be successful coaches who have a successful business that you're attracted to, okay? You want to follow those coaches that are your style. I just kind of mixed up my point, sorry. So your business building activities for me were to follow those people every single day. And I would say, what do I think they're doing today? And the one thing that I knew that they were doing was because I kind of stalked them a little bit. I stalked their YouTube, I stalked their blogs, I stalked their like pages and their Instagrams or whatever they had going. And I would see what they were doing. Now, I'm not saying you need to go create a blog and a 12,000 person following on Instagram, but get an idea for what they're doing behind the scenes. Because Brad and I saw that Getting Started Right webinar by Brittany Leggett and Katie Hefner. And we were just like, you know what? Maybe this can help us get a little traction. We had no idea how we were going to help you guys. And that was one thing for us that gave us something to do. And guess what? We took initiative and we did it. So when I say get involved and do a business building activity, go out there and just do something. There's a million things that we could write out on a to-do list. Just go do one thing and don't be a fly on the wall. Speak up on your team page, talk to your upline, talk to your success partner, talk to other people on other teams. That's the best thing you could ever do. And then they're going to be like, hey, my team's doing this. And all these light bulbs are going to start going off. But if you're just sitting here asking, when's the next open house? When's the next training? It's not really you're not leading. And I'm not trying to point fingers or anything like that. But I was in that scenario where I was like, damn it, why isn't my business growing? Something's missing for me. And I knew that I wasn't really leading. I was kind of waiting around. Okay. Don't ignore the advice given. Example, and again, don't go chasing a million shiny objects. This is just my personal example. I waited way too long to understand what a like page was. Colleen Eddie didn't need a like page because I was doing good. Like literally, that's what I thought. I'm being honest with you guys. I was like, I'm going to do this. 5,000 friends. I'll never max out. Well, it happened. It happened when I got to 18 months and I hit a absolute halt, and it hurt. It was so hard. I was like, Brad, I don't even know how I'm going to hit Success Club. I don't know what it's like to not hit Success Club. I don't know what to do, but I had to swallow my pride and say, you got to learn, girl. You just got to go out there and learn anything you can. And it was one step at a time. So because I ignored the advice given to me, which was start a like page or at least learn somewhat early on, it completely ignored that, and it hurt me. It hurt me really bad. So I didn't have a team for the first year because I kind of was ignoring some of the advice given because I was like, well, I'm not there yet. It's exactly what Brad started off with. You don't need to get promoted to start to do something. Stop recreating the wheel. I always think that people have brilliant ideas, and I think it's fantastic. And there comes a point that you're like, all right, I crushed my goals this month. I'm at Success Club. I recruited my coaches. What do? Then you go do a fun project. But if you're still trying to hit Emerald and you're still trying to have a team and recruit and things like that, don't try to add things onto the plate. We're literally teaching you guys step by step. So don't recreate the wheel. Be a sponge. Willingly accept that this is not another network marketing business. This is not sales. This is not what you go to work and do every single day. This is so different. And that took a while for me to kind of understand because I'm like, well, they say it's my own business, so I'm going to do it how I want, when I just wasn't taking the advice and soaking in what people were telling me. So be a sponge. Just, you can have your thoughts and your opinions, absolutely. But let's just say that the people that have mentored us are some of the highest earners in this company, the happiest people ever, and the most giving people ever. And that's actually the people that are going to be teaching you guys in this diamond training. You guys wanted the diamond training, you got it, and they put it together. And so everyone should be in that. Okay, let's talk about leadership a little bit more. You have to lead yourself first. If you're worrying about having a team, I don't have a team yet. It's probably because you haven't taken the right steps to lead yourself first. You have to stop and reflect. And again, some of this is kind of repetitive in a way, but it is what it is. Lead yourself first. If you're not reading your personal development and your business is hurting, I want to tell you that's why. There might be something else, but when I didn't know what to do, I shoved my nose in a book. If you were to go ask any successful coach who struggled hard in the beginning, what was a big change for you? They're going to say, I listened to podcasts. I showed up to events. I invested in myself and my business. Which brings me into my next joint point, which is events. Do not make it about money. Do not make, I don't have money and things like that the excuse. And here's why. Because if you don't get to the event, you're not going to make the money. One of the best things that I was ever told was put it on your credit card. And granted, yeah, I've been in credit card debt for a long time, but guess what? I just pulled out my numbers. In June 2014, I made $2,500. This year, I'm going to make over $9,000 in June. And it's because I showed up to every single event. So you know what? If I got to put something on my credit card to get to an event so that I can make $9,000 to $10,000 a month the following year, I hope you'd take that advice. Because when you show up to those events, you're just going to be like, oh my God, this is the best thing ever. And all the things that you weren't sure about before, you all of a sudden become certain of. I don't know how to explain it. It clicks and you just start flowing. And people ask me, how did you grow your business? I couldn't tell you. If I had to sit there and write out every single point in my business of how I did it, I could never do it. But because I was constantly showing up in one way or another, and events were so huge for me, I busted my butt to qualify for events. You know, a lot of people just disregard 1-star diamond and 2-star diamond, whatever, I'll get there someday. No, those are huge things. And the reason that they have incentives based around them is so that you can get to these events. Okay. Yeah, mentors told me that. So Keith Callahan, he was actually making 6 figures. And so he threw a team retreat and he had to spend $10,000 on the retreat. And he's like, you know, I had the money, but we were kind of going through a lot of things still. And so he's like, I put it on my credit card. And because of that retreat, he now has doubled and tripled and quadrupled and whatever is after that, his income. So you're investing in yourself. And I know a lot of numbers money people won't ever listen to that advice, but it's true. It's true in this business. The reward comes after you invest. And then just kind of the last point. The reason that we share these things with you is because we want to paint a very clear picture for you. What is your 12-month mark going to look like? And if you don't know, it's probably because you don't want to know. So by that, I mean, are you really doing the things that you should be doing every single day? Because when I ask my team, especially like my personally sponsored, are you all in? Do you want to have financial freedom? Like, you told me your why. Like, do you really mean that? And they're like, yeah. And then I don't see them doing the things that I know that they need to be doing. I don't know how else to tell you guys that when you get to your 1 year mark, you might be disappointed, and I don't want that. So when Brad talks about managing versus leading, I'm going to leave it up to you guys to show up to the events. I'm going to leave it up to you guys to hit Success Club and do all those things. And I think that trying to create independence in you guys as early as I can and to paint that picture is the best thing we could do for you guys, which is why we wanted to do this call for you tonight. So seriously, stop and think, if you were to keep doing what you're doing today, or that you've been doing for the last 6 months, where are you going to be at your 12 to 24 month mark? Struggling to talk today, still jet lagged. And that was the question for me that helped me more than anything, because I knew where I wanted to be at my 2 year mark. So that's what I have to share today. Did I have anyone in the chat box here?
Don't have any questions for us at all?
Did I miss something, Brad?
Oh, no, you're good.
Okay.
Allie, go ahead. I can't unmute you. Colleen can unmute you, though, or you can unmute.
What do I need to do?
Allie has a question.
Okay.
Hi, Colleen. I have a question for you and Brad. I have been a coach since April, and I've been doing really good at hitting Success Club, better than I thought. But I'm starting to get to the point where I feel like I'm spending so much time, like when I get home from work, I work a day job, like 8 to 9 hours a day. I feel like I come home and like I have so much Beachbody stuff to catch up on that I end up spending like 2 to 3 hours a night, even if I try to do like a power hour. Did you guys ever run into that when you were like first starting out? And how did you kind of like learn how to manage your time better? Because I'm trying to do the power hour. It's not really working out. It's taking too long. I don't know if that's just maybe that's just part of the business, or maybe I'm missing something.
Do you want to answer, Brad, or do you want me? You want me? Okay. So there'll definitely be, so we designed the power hour, not we, but Beachbody, the community designed the power hour to just make sure you guys understand what you need to do to get done. That power hour might end up being a little bit longer. I don't think it's a bad thing, but you'll definitely learn that, sacrifice will come in a little bit, and everything that you do now is going to pay off. Do you want to do this full time? Is that kind of...
At first I was kind of thinking I want it to be like a part-time, like maybe 20,000 a year would be good. But now that I've been doing it, I'm like obsessed with it. So maybe we'll see.
Yay. Okay. Well, that's great. 20,000 a year is great, but I mean, I know the full-time benefits are just that much more, because that 20,000 will turn into many more zeros on the end. So if you're, do you feel like you're just like, I can't handle this? Do you feel out of balance? Or are you just saying like, am I taking too long? Because if you're working 2 to 3 hours a day and want to be full-time Beachbody, if you can handle it and you can hang in there, hopefully on your days off, maybe you can put in a little bit more time there. You'll find a groove that works for you. I find that, on your work days, you're probably really tired and you're just like, oh, this is too much. So maybe on your days off, that's the sacrifice that you can put in there instead. But I can be honest, in my first year and a half, I put in way more time than the average, because I knew where I had to go. And I was like, if I can do this in 2 years, I would put in every waking moment if I could. So for me, it was totally worth it. I don't know, you're in balance? Do you feel like you're kind of struggling with that, or?
No, and I'm the kind of person where like, if I know what I need to get done, no problem, I'll do it. But I'm starting to get to that point where like, my boyfriend's like, oh my God, you're literally always on the phone. You're always, doing something on Facebook and all that kind of stuff. And it's starting to kind of like affect my relationships with other people. But if that's part of the sacrifice and that's like something that other people have gone through too, then I'm the kind of person I'm like, okay, I'm fine with diving in kind of thing. So
you definitely want to have business hours because, I mean, if it starts to ruin your relationships, you're going to have resent towards it. So I hope that your boyfriend and friends and family are supportive. And so you can say, okay, babe, I got to do this tonight. And then tomorrow from 7 to 10, it's you and me, so like kind of set them up so that you can get your stuff done. And if there is maybe a period of 30 days where you got to do what you got to do, maybe he'll support you. And then like that for me would light a fire. I'd be like, I'm going to show you what this is going to do. And, you just definitely have to kind of keep them in the loop of what's going on and do your best to bring them to a big, because then they'll go, oh.
Can I add a little bit?
Yeah.
I'm gonna, so Allie, that's two points to that. One with the spouse or your boyfriend, just kind of like, why are you always on the phone? I faced that too. Janice was like, dude, what the hell are you doing? We haven't hung out in like 2 weeks. It's going to take an honest conversation about why you're doing it and being vulnerable about the fact that you do want this to turn into something special. And just like Colleen said, prove it to him that you can and show him what this is doing. You can even, something that has helped me is listen to Chris Reed and Cody Reed's National Wake Up Call from last year in the archive. I can show you where, Lauren can show you where in the online office because they talk about how to involve your spouse. One of them, they're both elite coaches, and one of them has been not supportive for a while and then hopped on board after a while because Chris included her in what he did. Include him. Say like, if we do this, if I get this done, we'll go to dinner this weekend. If I get this done, what's your opinion on this? What's your opinion on that? And kind of include him in it so he feels a little more just part of this and not completely separated. I think that will help you. And I know, Alicia, you face that too. I think that'd be good for you as well. And in regards to time, it goes back to what Colleen said, her second point about do business building activities. Just take a look at what you're doing and make sure that the majority of it is actually something that will produce a result. It's really easy to kind of get sidetracked into, just shiny objects, like Colleen said, other things that don't produce result. But if you ever find this taking up time, just say, okay, is what I'm doing now going to produce business building activities? And the thing about it, or going to produce business. And the thing about it is that it's not something that you have to really figure out. It's just the 3 vital behaviors. If you're doing the 3 vital behaviors, you're doing a business building activity. If it's something else, then it's most likely not. And so just if you have constrained time, just focus on things that will actually produce results. So hope that helps. But
thanks, guys.
You're definitely not alone with the imbalance. It might feel a little crazy. I mean, there were days that I was like, Brad, dude, is this like doing anything? It's been like 6 months. And then like all that work I did for 6 months, tenfold paid me back. And I believe that because my mentors told me that. So as long as you guys believe in that too, hopefully you'll know the end is worth it. It is worth it.
Melanie Mitchell said that.
What was that?
Melanie Mitchell said that. She said that whatever you do now will benefit you a year from now. Just think about that. It's not something that's going to pay you right away. It's a sacrifice. But Colleen has called me crying a few times about this, about just the amount of time she spent putting in hours to this. And literally she was like, why aren't these coaches, no one's signing up, no one's doing this, no one's doing that, what's going wrong? And Jen, you're 100% right, the compound effect. What you do now pays you 1 year from now. And that's the hardest thing to accept about this business because we want instant result. Right? We're a microwave mentality society. We want that the fast, skin cleared up. We want fast weight loss. We want fast results. This business is not fast results. It's work your ass off for a while and it pays you back a year from now. So anyways, Jen, good point. Anyone have any other questions for Colleen or myself?
I have an announcement. I was late. Sorry. 2 of my girls hit Emerald last week, Jen Flannery and Christine Dickery. So I just kind of wanted to say congratulations, guys. Love you.
Congrats, guys. It's awesome. We have lots of shiny emeralds and lots of shiny diamonds.
That's good.
Yeah, so do you guys have any other questions for us?
Anybody?
So I'm excited for you guys to.
I think Sam's got a question, Colleen.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. I was trying to get to the unmute button. I actually had a question for Colleen and anyone on her team, and anyone can chime in on this, but I feel like lately, just some people that I've talked to on our team, we're having a little bit of a hard time, I guess, getting challenge groups together with people that click. I know personally the last couple of challenge groups that I've done, people are kind of into it the first week, and after that, it just doesn't work very well. So do you guys have really good success with your challenge groups? And if so, was there any like aha moment that you had, or a certain way that you set them up so that you know that people are all going to be like the same type of people in it?
Sorry. So we have had some horrible ones, but we kind of are back on our groove right now. We started a Super Life Challenge. It's not about Super Life, that's not like what made it amazing. It was more so just kind of rekindling the fire and reminding our challengers that we want to give them more. I'm not just going to help you lose weight, because when you come into my world, I'm going to make you realize that you deserve more, you can have more, you can be more. So what's your mission, Sam and other coaches that you were talking about? What do you want to do to help people? Because I know if you're a challenge pack coach, you want to help them lose weight, which is cool, but that's where like it gets boring. And I know that you're not just a challenge pack coach. So if you're in this, like, what mission are you on to help people? I love teaching people self-love. Like, what have you learned personally? You want to pay that forward to your challenge groups. Don't just make it about lose 10 pounds, because that gets so repetitive. And that's why I took Super Life. Honestly, I actually like spend my commission on my challengers most times. Like, I bought them $15 personal development books. Get a cheap one. Give them anything. Give them a little notebook that's like $5 or something. And they're going to be like, wow, this person genuinely cares, and like have them keep a journal. You just have to bring some creativity and some life to your challenge groups. And if anyone on my team wants to chime in about what's worked for them, go ahead.
No one's going to chime in. I also think it helps to set an expectation beforehand. I 100% agree with what Colleen said. And Sam, that's one of the things that I do in my challenge groups is we're starting up, I saw comments in the chat box about personal development, adding that we're adding kind of a self-confidence and belief in themselves layer to the challenge group. Because I really feel that that's a huge part of not only fitness, but just becoming a more confident and higher self-esteem person. And so just like what Colleen said, change it up, but also set the expectation beforehand. Like, hey, I really want to help you guys, but I need your help to make sure, and you're posting in there every single day, you're participating, you're helping each other out. And I personally set the expectation before I get them in the group. And then I have them, I remind them of that expectation after I've put them in the group, because it's one thing if you're just posting by yourself, but it's a whole other thing if they know coming into it that they're going to be challenged to be held accountable to their goals. And so just a little extra.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, I think like when they sign up, I'm like, okay, so you came to me, you want to lose weight, this is what you want to do, but it doesn't stop there for me. Like I'm going to message you, you're going to hear from me. I personally am a very fitness forward coach. Not everyone is. And so when I'm on my fitness game, like people know I'm on my fitness game, and I share compellingly about that in my food prep. And I'm not a big recipes person, but I do food prep and things like that. So whatever your niche is, I make sure that I let people know I'm going to educate them, and they're going to learn positivity and everything I've learned. And this is why I love Beachbody. And they're like, oh, wow, okay. Instead of just telling them like, oh, I'm going to put you in my support group. That kind of like.
Yeah, I like that. That's cool. Thank you.
Okay, cool. And Allie was asking, if we run one big challenge group or separate ones. There's definitely coaches on my team that do their own individual ones. But usually, the leaders are stepping up and they're talking with other leaders like attract like, and I try to take a couple newer coaches and do like an apprenticeship with them. So if you have a rock star coach on your team, take them and be like, girl or guy, it's you and me, and we are going to do this together, and like let them kind of take the lead and let them know, all right, we're going to rock this. This is what I need you to do. And so how do you split them up? I don't do anything. It's not my job to set up challenge groups. People just do it on their own, because that's the thing. That's the mistake I made. Another failure is I was doing all the work. I ran 17 challenge groups for 17 months in a row. Oh my God, that got boring after a while. So that's when you learn. Lindsay Stay taught me that. She's like, yeah, have an apprenticeship coach and have them run your challenge groups. And I'm like, duh. So.
Yeah, it helps. Christina Delgado taught me this the other day. It helps to one, take your new coaches, like Colleen said, do the apprenticeship thing, but coaches that have been around a little while, coaches that are leading other coaches, what helps is she did a calendar, and this is something that I'll be doing with Reach Nation tonight actually, is calendar, and then she has a suggested start date for your challenge group. And what that's going to do is a couple of things. One, it's going to show that the coach, you are responsible for running your challenge group. You do the work there. But if it's a new coach, they'll be like, hey, how do I run a challenge group? And that way they don't feel alone. You can say, we're going to do this together. We're going to team up and we're going to tag team this. But Colleen, dude, I did the same thing where I would run a challenge group for a while, and coaches that are, starting to lead teams on this call really understand it and don't make the mistake that I did. I did so many challenge groups for my team that it became expected that I was going to run every challenge group. And that wasn't duplicating. Coaches weren't learning how to do it. So just keep that in mind, that, leaders, runners, take it, run with each other, Sam, Allie, Alicia, Eric, whoever it is, or Erica, whoever it is, team up with each other, run a challenge group and sprint with that. I think that'd be great for you guys. But, don't spoon feed like I did. I made that mistake for a very long time, 2 years.
We just want to give you guys all the love, and sometimes that hurts you guys.
Colleen, you saying something? What's that, Colleen?
Can you hear me or no?
Yeah, now you're good.
Okay. Well, if you guys don't have anything else, it's been an hour, so you want to wrap it up?
Yeah, let's wrap it up.
Cool. I don't know if my sound's off, so thanks for coming.
Yeah, thanks for coming, guys. Colleen will share this recording with me. I'll post it in Reach Nation, and then have a great night. Thank you for coming, and we hope you take this and learn from our mistakes and advice that we have over 2 years of being a coach, and you run with it. So have a good one, guys. Talk to you guys soon.
Bye, guys.